Hello there, everybody. This is Devin here with the Rogue Decks Chronicle podcast, and this week I'm able to present a little fun deck that I've been wanting to play for a very long time that I thought got better with the Destined Rival set, and that is going to be Wailord. So Wailord is a card that came out from the Journey Together set with the Hydro Pump attack. For 4 colorless energy, it does 10 and then does 15 more for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So if you have 4 water energy attached to this Pokemon, it automatically does 210 and then can scale up depending on how many more energy you have on Wailord. Now, as you all say, yes, this is a very energy intensive attack. How do we get Wailord streaming efficiently? Well, first off, we're going to go back to Old Faithful Water Energy Accelerator, which is Baxcalibur with the Super Cold ability. Super Cold says, as long as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic water energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So we can attach as many energies as we want to the Wailord using the Super Cold. But then you're going to ask, what happens when Wailord gets KO'd? What do we do? How do we get all that energy back? Well, this is where a new card from Destined Rival comes out, which is Huntail. Huntail is a Stage 1 water Pokemon that has the ability Diver's Catch, which reads, when one of your water Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may put all basic water energy cards attached to that Pokemon into your hand instead of the discard pile. So there's no need to have 4 superior energy retrievals. There's no need to have energy retrievals. There's no need to get a whole bunch of super rods. All that energy is going to be coming into our hand instead of going to the discard pile, so we could re-accelerate it with another Super Cold onto another Pokemon. Now, we do run a 1/1 line of Revavroom here for the Rumbling Engine ability. You must discard an energy card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once you're in your turn, you may draw until you have 6 cards in hand. We'll have energy in hand. That's the whole point of the deck. We will have energy in hand. So we'll discard one of them to refill our hand after we get rid of most of them. So we are going to have a lot of energy. We're able to put a lot of energy into play. We'll utilize that as a major resource for the deck. Along with that, we will be running 2 Buddy-Buddy Poffins to set up everything that's not a Wailmer. We will be running 2 Nest Balls to get everything else into play. We do have a Precious Trolley as our A-spected choice for this deck. This will allow us to just get a wide board state, ideally turn 1. That way we don't have to worry about Buddy-Buddy or Nest Balls or anything like that for the beginning of the game. We also will run 3 Ultra Balls to search for Pokemon in any way we need to. And then we are running 1 Artazon. Again, another way to get our basic Pokemon into play to get set up as quick as possible. In terms of the other trainer cards, we do run 2 Earthen Vessel. Like we said, we want to have energy in our hand as quick as possible, and Earthen Vessel is a great way to get 2 energies. We will run 2 Night Stretchers. It will give us the flexibility of grabbing an energy if we need an extra energy, but also give us the opportunity to grab a particular Pokemon from the discard pile if we need to either re-establish another Wailmer or just grab a Wailord for another evolution to keep our attacking going. Because we run Baxcalibur, of course we're going to run Rare Candy, and we run 2 of those in this deck. We still run 2 Superior Energy Retrieval. Huntail is not always going to be live, it's not always going to be online, so Superior Energy Retrieval will be a way that we can recover energy that goes to the discard pile just in case we have to do anything like that. Now, in terms of supporters, we run a very interesting account here. So we run 3 Iono, 3 Research, standard fare. But in this deck, we'll also run 1 Lana's Aid, allow us to get a combination of non-rule box and energy into our hand from the discard pile. We will run 1 Morty's Conviction to allow us to draw for every card that our opponent has in play. And then we will run 2 Surfer. So Surfer will be a draw supporter, but also is a switch card. Our Pokemon have very heavy retreat costs. So we need to find a way to get those Pokemon out of the active when we do not want them in the active, and Surfer does that for us. And then we are running 2 TM Evolution to help us accelerate turn 1 to get into our evolutions quicker. Now, in terms of energy, we are running 11 basic water energy, and then we're running 2 reversal energy. Reversal energy can count as water when we are behind on prizes, so it can be 3 water energy toward Wailmer's Hydro Pump attack when we are behind on prizes. That way we do not have to stress on trying to get a whole bunch of energy on the Wailmer in the parts of the game that we are trailing. We are a single prize non-EX deck, so we will be trailing a lot and hopefully trying to come back from taking out multiple EX Pokemon in order to get the win. So there's the deck list. As always, this deck list will be in the description of the video. And let's jump into the matches to see how we do. Alrighty, so we are going second, but we're leading with Clamperl. So we have Artazon. We have some energy. We have Iono, so that way we don't have to lose some of the resources here. So let's see what our opponent has in front of us. So depending on how our opponent sets up, we want to Artazon for a Wailmer. Probably we'll attach a water energy. Wailord. Alright, so is this going to be... Well, this is not Team Rocket. This is Wailord, not... Okay. Fire! Okay, so it's a Wailord It's a fire deck of some form. Okay. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Let's see how this goes. TM Evolution. So... let's start setting up here. Get a Wailmer into play. I'm not a fan of getting rid of reversal energy when we don't have to. And it didn't really help us. Not really at all, unfortunately. But since we had a team evolution, we'll do that, get a Wailmer in play, and kind of see what our opponent does next turn. Charmander, okay. So this is a Charizard deck of some form. Okay. Okay. Just trying to think here what we can do. Part of me wants Iono. Because the resources in the hand are just a little important. I like having the Arctibax play a little more often than not. But since we've already used one of our 2 TM Evos, getting rid of it isn't going to be the worst case thing in the world. Okay, they're collecting. They're not really doing much, so we're giving our opportunity here another research. Yeah, we're gonna Iono. We're definitely gonna Iono. We're gonna set up here. I'm gonna put it attached for turn, and then try to see what new hand we get. We got the Huntail. Definitely want to retreat. I want to put a big bulky boy up front just to give us something for now. Let's Ultra Ball away those pieces. Let's get a Frigibax in our hand. And then we're going to end the turn. So we have our attacker in the active spot. Now we have to get Frigibax online. We have Night Stretcher. We have 2 water energy in the discard, which isn't the worst thing in the world by any means. We can Artazon more cards out of the deck, so we can thin slowly here. So, best case scenario would be us ripping a professor's research. That way we can, or just getting another way to get a Revavroom into play. Because if we can get a Revavroom, we have the energy kind of situation. So our opponent is slowly setting up. We are giving them plenty of time. We are kind of slowly setting our board on our end. But I think the biggest part for us is the fact that we are a single prize deck. They have multi-prizers. They have the new EX. It looks like they're setting up a Charizard or some form. They're going to be feeding us their EXs compared to us giving them single prizers. So this is going to definitely be a trade once we're set up. Alright, so Artazon again. Grab a Wailmer. Put an energy in the play there. And then unfortunately we just have to pass. We're not getting that acceleration set up. I think the Ionas were just smart for us, Team Evolution, so they're going to set up another set of pieces. Alright, so 330 there. So yeah, we're very fortunate that we've got a second Wailmer there. We really need to get energy acceleration. We need to get a Baxcalibur. We need to just get those pieces going, because once we go, 330 actually isn't too hard to get with the Wailord. So 4 is 210, 5 is 260, 6 is 310, 7 would be 360. 7 energy onto a Wailord is not impossible, especially if we're behind on prizes and we can utilize that reversal energy to our advantage here. So, research, Ultra Ball. Okay. So, we're going to get opportunity of some pieces here. Yeah, they're evolving. They're probably going to get a Pidgeot. They're definitely probably going to get another Charmeleon. Only a Charmeleon. Okay, so they either have the Pidgeot in hand or the prize, one of the two. Another Team Evo. We're going to take advantage of that, actually. I want to thin my deck out just a little bit more here. I'm going to take a Wailmer. We're going to discard some pieces here. I'm going to take a gamble, mostly because we can't really accelerate. I mean, we could have gotten the nuts, but we didn't need to worry about that too hard. Put that there. We're gonna Surfer and pop that there. I want to put. Oh, I'm an idiot because it's Team Evolution. That's fine. That's a misplay on my part. I was so focused on just trying to keep the Wailord alive, I forgot the Team Evolution play where we could have got what we wanted. We'll just end turn. I made a stupid misplay. Surfer probably wasn't necessary. Especially now both our surfers are actually in the discard pile too. Okay. So now he's going for the offensive here. Now he's going offensive, which is great. Because if he takes this KO with Varoom here, our reversal energy is online. So we'll be able to take advantage of the reversal energy for 3. So let's put some pressure and see if we can take advantage of this here. So how many energy in the discard pile? Just the 2. Superior energy retrieval isn't the strongest, but the only draw support we have right now is research. So let's Nest Ball to see if there's anything we want to put into play. There is another Varoom. I am going to just try here. And we'll just dig a little hard here. Man, we're not getting what we need. Now, we do have the Lana's A to get some resources back, but we're just a turn away every single time. Okay. We got the reversal energy, but we attached to thin out the hand. We probably didn't have to do that. Didn't think we would get the reversal. Honestly, I was hoping to get the Arctibax. Not checking the Arctibax prize. Probably should have done that too. But we'll have Lana's aid. I don't see our opponent not triggering a Wailord. So we can Lana's aid the Wailord back into hand. We can pop the reversal energy on to the Wailmer. Really, I need to do Earthen Vessel, and I'll probably have to search for... Honestly, I need to see if we have the Baxcalibur prize, or... We have 2 Baxcaliburs, so that's the thing. Like, there's no way both prize, right? But we see here 3 different EXs. We can start really storming back once we get set up. Because we have just parts of a whole bunch of evolutions here. We're just, like we said, we're 1 step away from really rolling. Burning Darkness. Wailord tanks that, actually. So we have an opportunity to keep this going. So let's at least get that set up. Let's discard the Nest Ball, because we won't need that for the rest of the fight here. I want to... Yeah, so we have 1 Baxcalibur in the deck with the Revavroom. We have Rare Candies with Trolley. We have no more water energy, so we have to be very cautious with our water energy recycling. But we have the Lana's aid for that. So 1, 2, I have 5 energy. I really don't want to get rid of the water energy because we have no way to really recycle it. So we're just going to chip into it. 260, so we're 2 energy shy. If we would have got the Baxcalibur, we would not be having to protect the water energy, which would have been the good part, you know. He's putting a Defiance Band, but that's fine. Yes, I want the energy. We're gonna get that Wailord back with Lana's aid, hopefully. Buddy-Buddy Poffin, which isn't very helpful in this situation. Oh, Lordy B. Once we get the Baxcalibur, we are live. Because then we can just throw the energy on the board and have fun with it. I just don't want to get rid of all these energies and have no way to recycle them back. That's my concern right now. I think part of it is we are getting very unlucky with just not drawing into the Ultra Balls or any other way to get the Baxcalibur. Awesome! Let's go. Let's super cold and let's start setting pieces up here. Alright, now we have a whole bunch of stuff in hand. I want to just protect some evolution pieces. We have the reversal energy for future needs, so we'll hold that for now. We'll do the 210. We didn't have to go super hard on this Charizard. And now there's pieces in our hand we've gotten way too late. We only have 5 cards. We're gonna have to just keep on plowing through. Our opponent can just make us have to go through a whole bunch of single prizers, knowing that we have such a thin hand size. We do have the Iono, so we can just put cards back into the deck to survive if we have to. So we'll see what happens here. Because it Genome hacking, he only does 10? Yeah. He only does 10. So I want to slowly... I'm going to keep the reversal energy because it is a single energy if we're tied or anything like that. So we are in a spot where we can go a little aggressive here. Where we have a smaller deck size. I want to be able to just take out any perceived threats on the board. Because now, even if he feeds us single prizers, we have the ability to kind of just keep water energy alive. We have the ability here to kind of just do what we need to do. Because what we could do... No. Okay, he's Ionoing us to 2, which is not horrible. His Revavroom came off the top of the deck. Perfect. So he's going to do a whole bunch of damage with Burning Darkness. We're going to get a whole bunch of energy back into our hand. And like we said, we just need 7 energy to knock out a Charizard from full health. We have 4 here. So if they knock out this Wailord, we promote the other Wailord, get the energy from the Diver's Catch. We should get our energy that we need to hit the 330 threshold here. See what our opponent is doing with the quick search. Putting another Charmander into play. And if they pass, we can still win and put the pressure on the Charizard like right now. So, oh no, we can't because we retreat. We don't get the, okay. So I am going to at least get the Revavroom into play. I want to be able to get any acceleration that we can get out. So we're going to have to two-shot this Charizard, which is fine. But they're not in a position where they are doing well. Yes, the Quick Search is helping them, but they have to not get a Wailord just to give us that opportunity to give them another Wailord attacker. So I think we're in a good spot this turn. The Rare Candy into another into a Pidgeot. Okay, so he has 2 Quick Searches live. Not the worst thing. A potential problem would be boss's orders, but we're not seeing that. Okay. Yes, we want those energy in the hand. We actually don't really need to do a full power up Wailord, but I want to show the math. Because the 7 should be enough. The 7's 360, that's enough for a one-shot. So we can one-shot the Charizard with 7. And as you see, 7 isn't hard to do late game, especially with the Diver's Catch. So, there is a win against Charizard EX. We were a little slow, but we still got the win, showing off the power and the tankiness of Wailord. So, let's jump into another match to see how we do. Alrighty, so another match. We are going first. So, with us going first, I'm just going to drop one Pokemon and we'll do the rest of our turn in a second. So, we got pieces here. So, let's get cards into play here. So, we have Huntail, we have the full line, we have... Okay, cool. We have everything we need for this turn. The only thing we don't have is a draw supporter, which is fine for now. We need the Frigibax. Win turn and pass. This is not a bad turn 1. We got a board set up. We have all our pieces started. The only thing that could have made this turn better was a draw supporter for next turn. Another piece that we can try to do is a team evolution to start getting a Revavroom in play, to get the Frigibax into play, different things like that. So there's possibilities here. Looks like this is a poison deck, which Wailmer naturally kind of counters. The Artazon did exactly what it needed to do for one turn. It got the piece that we were missing. And our opponent's kind of just stalling, which is not horrible. So, with that being said, I'm going to attach for turn. And I want to Iono to get us 6 fresh cards here. I'm going to put a Wailord up. We can Morty's Conviction next turn if our opponent does go a little more aggressive. But other than that, not a horrible hand. A Huntail would have been more preferred, but it doesn't look like we're getting a lot of pressure right now. I see a lot of... We will see Monkey Door shenanigans once they get set up, because I have a feeling with Poison, trying to poison both actives is going to be their game plan. But we'll see how we go here. Buddy-Buddy for... Honestly, I wouldn't want to Buddy-Buddy anything else. So, but I do want to use that as Morty fodder here. We have parts of a whole bunch of things, but we have nothing of like a whole combo. But we'll just pass again. And we have the Wailord's one turn away from really getting pressure. The Brute Bonnet, unless he gets a capsule this turn, that Brute Bonnet is definitely going to... Okay. Okay. So Wailord's going to get the KO, but he's going to eat a whole bunch of poison damage, but with the Petrunt into play. But we got the Rare Candy. That's popping off for us. That's awesome. Alright, I'm going to go a little aggressive here. We still have Lana's 8 in the deck, so we don't really have to worry about too much of that. I want to put that into play. We're missing... We're missing the Clamperl, which scares the bejeebus out of me, but I'm just going to Hydro Pump, see what our opponent can do. See if... Because we know the Huntail's in the deck. Reversal Energy, which may help in a couple turns. We have the Earthen Vessel, so if we really have to set up another Wailord, if we get it, then it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. We're doing 210. We're 1 energy away from knocking out the Okidogi. We have a superior energy retrieval to get all these water energy back, so we don't lose those as this Wailord gets knocked out. The part that is a little concerning is we don't have another Wailord this cycle behind it, but we have everything, almost everything else that we would like. Okay, so he's giving us a turn without realizing he's giving us a turn. I mean, obviously the poison's there, but I will allow this Wailord to take poison damage to get a 2-prize knockout, for sure. There's another Arctibax. Because right now we're doing 210, which is just shy. There's the KO right there. Just a whole bunch of stuff in hand that I would like to get rid of, potentially. But we have no way to find the parts I want. So we're just going to take the KO. Because he really loaded up onto that Okidogi, which is fine. Trolley, more energy. Superior energy retrieval. If we can get an Ultra Ball, that'd be fantastic, because I could set up a whole bunch of pieces with that Ultra Ball. I would not mind retreating with this Wailord, knowing that we have the superior energy retrieval in hand. And now we're being Iono down to 3, which may or may not hurt. We'll see. Surfer. And a Nest Ball. We're probably going to see a KO soon. Energy in hand. Problem is we don't have the superior energy retrieval because it's in the deck now, but if we Nest Ball the Shuffle and then Surfer, we could do that as well. But we're also going to get another turn. So, all right. This is what we're gonna do. Gives me 3 cards. Gives me the Huntail, which is actually the most important part of that combination. So we get a whale round 1 turn of poison. And we get an Iono, which isn't really... Iono's not helpful for us at this point. We have to Surfer with the research. Those are the more important pieces. I think research is going to be the play next turn once we get Iono'd again. We are potentially going to lose the Wailord's energy to the poison in between turns. And our opponent's forcing us to go through all these single prizes, which we do have this steam to do it. We have the resources in the deck to do it. Alright. Okay. So we can just do Surf, but we can do more than that too if we needed to. So I'm gonna get rid of the Iono. I don't even want that in the deck at this point. So I'm gonna get the Revavroom first. And then draw 7 new cards. Okay, so I think what I do want to do is for sure just get another Wailord set up. It gives us a better ceiling for damage, especially because there's damage on that board. And it has a higher HP threshold. Like the 240, I don't see them having the capability of doing that this turn. So we're just going to get rid of that, get down to 1 prize. And then kind of see how our opponent's going to force us to get this last prize. We did kind of go a little aggressive on getting to this point. So I'm very well aware that we could get burned depending on how our opponent wants to try to punish us. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 energy has been seen. We still have a lot more energy out of the 18 cards left. That's always a good thing to see. But this poison deck can give trouble to decks, but I think with our just naturally high bulky HP with the Wailmer and the Wailord, it was just a little bit too much to play for our opponent. But we'll see. If we can survive this attack, we'll be good. If we die from the attack, obviously we still have the Huntail, we have the Night Stretcher, we can just recycle. Okay, so perfect. This is why we run the Huntail, is so we can do that. So we'll just promote another Wailord. And we will just get our turn for the game. So we'll Night Stretcher. for that Wailord. Promote. Super cold. And then return KO for the 290. Or 210, knocking out the 190, getting us the KO, getting us the game. Last energy. Last card was the reversal energy. So there was a poison deck that made us think, made us have to play around with our HP. But we ended up getting the win with Wailord. So not a bad attack, not a bad situation for us. The bulk of Wailord definitely came in clutch there. Alrighty, so another match. We are leading with Clamperl again. You figure with only 2, we wouldn't be leading with it as often as we do. But it's being a lead a lot, but it is okay. A Misty's deck, or at least has Misty's Lapis. Let's see what our opponent does here. So, we have an Artazon. We have a Clamperl. I would love to see a Precious Trolley off the top of the deck. Just a pass. Okay, let's see what our opponent would do here. I don't know if I want to... Yeah, we have to set up a board. As much as I don't want to give our opponent the Artazon, we need it more than they do. We have a Baxcalibur in hand. So... I'll do the Frigibax just in case we get the Rare Candy off the top of the deck. And we'll Shell Press. Won't do much for us, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, it was one of those situations where I didn't want to give it, but I kind of had to. Because we can... Oh, okay. Cool. Huh. So there's going to be a combination of events here that I am not going to be upset with, potentially. But I definitely want to get that Wailmer into play first and foremost. On the reversal energy this turn. Because then... Yeah. You have a large hand, you're not doing much with it. I think that's by choice, not by circumstance. And I would like to try to get my board set up. The fact that we had the Wailord in hand, yeah. But nothing else really is really shocking. So we got one Clamperl, one Frigibax, 2 we have all the pieces we need with an open bench spot, so we don't necessarily have to Artazon next turn. If they somehow do knock out the Clamperl, then yes, we will. With the Misty's deck, it seems like the HBs are going to be a little smaller. It's definitely going to be another single prize situation from them as well. So our natural bulk will help us, especially with that Gyarados attack that is going to be coming in the near future. So preparing the Wailords definitely is not a bad strategy here. Boss, who you bossing? Frigibax, okay. Frigibax in the active isn't necessarily an awful thing. Just we could always Artazon for a second Frigibax and just sacrifice the first one. into your hand. So we have the Iono. We're countering that turn. That is a easy decision there. We have the Huntail. That's awesome. We're going to attach for turn. And I'm going to Iono. Bye-bye Gyarados. I want those Gyarados back in the deck. We got the Frigibax, but we got really nothing else with it. So it's Ultra Ball. It's going to look weird. We're Ultra Ball these away. Because I want that. Do we have anything in the discard pile? No, we have nothing really of interest in the discard pile for now. So we're going to Rumbling Engine. There. Got a Wailord back into hand. So we're going to get that there. We have 2 Night Stretchers. So when we need the Baxcalibur, we can. Have I seen any of my energy retrievals? I have not, so we can be a little aggressive here. So we are going to do that. I am not going to wait for... I'm just not going to wait. I'm just going to put the Arctibax in now. I'm going to have the Baxcalibur set up for next turn. Put my opponent into position where they have to figure out what to do with my active. Because the solution of keeping me in the active is not a solution for them, because we have so many outs to next turn. Alright, so they're going to Surf. We are in a very good, very strong position, in my opinion. Another Wailord. What's the retreat cost for Baxcalibur? Same as Arctibax. Perfect. So let's get that into play. So we're going to research. Get pieces. So I'm gonna go a little aggressive here, seeing that nothing else is really set up and they could have retreated at any time and they chose not to. I am going to I'm just gonna set up for future protection here. We have Lana's aid, so I'm not worried about some of that stuff. How many energy in the discard? 3, not too worried about that. So let's get the KO. Let's start putting some pressure on our opponent to force some evolutions. Because here's what we have in our hand. We have 2 rare candies, we have Lana's aid. If the Baxcalibur gets KO'd, we can just Lana's aid the Baxcalibur and 2 of those energies back into our hand. Superior energy retrieval the other pieces, and we can set up a Wailord for what feels like it's free. If our opponent Ionos us, then we'll have to kind of reconfigure our strategy, but I don't know if our opponent wants to Iono. So, but the piece that I definitely would want to do... Okay, Bubble Beam. With a head, so we're paralyzed. Okay. So we can't attack this turn, we can't retreat. If we get a Surfer, then we'll be fine. But we're not. So I don't want to waste Alana's aid on energy. But I don't mind using the superior energy retrieval for that. So let's get the energy out of the discard. Let's super cold the energy around here. I'm gonna keep one energy in hand. Let's rumble for 2. Get the second Baxcalibur into play, so now we're not really at a position where we have to... But I want to keep Lana's 8. I think we're just going to, unfortunately, keep the turn as is and force our opponent to keep on hitting head flips. Because we still have both our Surfers in play, right? In the deck, right? Yes, we do. So if we get a Surfer from the Rumbling Engine or straight from the deck, that'd be great. We are in a very thin deck situation, so we have to start attacking. We do have to start attacking very soon, because we've got super aggressive to set the board up the way it is. We just have to get there. And if our opponent gets lucky in paralysis, then it is going to turn into just a draw pass. I'm not going to try to set up anything else. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can actually be aggressive because we have the second Baxcalibur. So we can just, again, we have to attack. We have to try to get 5 prizes before we draw 13 cards. And if we can get a late game Iono just to fill our deck up, that would be fantastic as well. So we're at a position where we have the Huntail active. We have another Baxcalibur, so we can get, I wouldn't say sacrifice, but this Baxcalibur can definitely just sit there and be a wall, be an attacking threat. 130 attacks everything. The Gyarados, okay, put the Gyarados in play. If you get the Gyarados into play, we have a Wailord behind to take care of you. The Gyarados would need to hit 4 cards off the deck as part of the... Is it from the deck? Yeah, top 7 would have to hit 4 out of 7 for that to be that, which is not the worst thing in the world. If you knock this out, we just put a Wailord into play. But they're not. They're putting cards in their hand, which I don't know if it's not necessarily, like, you're taking cards out of your deck, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know how that deck works. I have a general theory of how it should work, and I don't think that is it. But I'm at the point now where we just need to get prizes. We're going to play the game against... Okay, so no prize that turn. We're still putting KOs up. If you do the Gyarados on the Baxcalibur and you get 2, you get a Wailord to the face. That's how I'm looking. And how many of those Gyaradoses can you chain versus how many of my Wailords can I chain? That's the question. Do they get discarded? Each Misty card gets discarded. Okay. So there's 1 Psyduck. Two Psyducks. Okay, so that's 3 right there. But Diver's Catch is going to trigger. We're going to get those energies back. And then I'm going to just attach 1. I'm going to actually protect my hand. I'm going to protect my hand right here. We're in a super cold. I'm going to put there, there, and there. Don't need an Earthen Vessel. We don't have the Lana this turn. There's only 1 energy in there, so we're fine for that. We're in a 210. That Legacy energy, yeah, put us back a turn, but we're not drawing. We're not really doing anything that is forcing a lot of pressure in terms of that deck out race for us. So we just have to see what our opponent does. Sacred Ash, okay, puts cards back into their deck. Psyduck that card onto the top of the deck. But then you just Artazon, so that Psyduck that you put on top of the deck for the damage just got reshuffled. Unless they use the Artazon to counter deck. So we probably will have to set up another Wailmer if we can. This makes no sense. From an order operation perspective, I think they're doing some pieces right, but they're mixing up some shuffling, which is causing some, to me, like, yes, you just put a whole bunch of cards back in your deck. Yes, there is more than a third of that deck that is what it needs to be, but yeah, so you're looking at the deck, putting cards into your hand, and putting the rest in your shuffling again. So I think there's an operation piece that I'm just unsure of. Alright. So I'm confused. Academy and Night. Alright, so you're going to put a Psyduck on your deck, and then you're going to put a card from your hand to the deck. Is that what I'm saying? Nope. You got the 4. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to chain some Wailords now. Which is actually easy to do. So let's Nest Ball Wailmer. This is our last Wailmer in the deck, which is fine. Let's Super Cold 2 energies to that Wailord. And then I want to put the other ones on this Wailmer to prep this Wailmer. I want Academy and Night the Lana's Aid. And then we'll knock out. So now on the top of our deck, not only did we give ourselves one more card for the deck race, but we protected our Lana's Aid. So unless they Iono, but if they Iono, we get the card into our hand. So now we have 2 more that we have to knock out. The Lana's Aid, they have their own. The Lana's Aid will allow us to get more of the Wailmer pieces into play. And I don't know if my opponent can consistently crank out 4 Misty's cards on the top of their deck. Yes, they can always hit one of the Psyduck, but how many more can they really start cranking? Because we have our damage calculation. So can they hit the 4? I think they are. I'm going to assume for the next 3 turns that they can hit the 4. They only hit the 3! Oh, we just got a lifeline. We just got a lifeline. So I'm going to Academy and Night that Lana's Aid back onto the top of the deck. We do not have to try to overexert ourselves this turn. We're just going to get the Gyarados. We're going to get another prize. And we are 1 turn away from taking out this Misty's deck. So they were banking on getting that 4. When they didn't get it, they knew they were behind on a turn. So There's a matchup against Misty's. Misty's Gyarados is super fun. I can see what they're trying to do with the deck. I would have done some operational pieces differently. But the bulk of Wailord came in clutch there, which is amazing. Alrighty, so there is Wailord, a couple games on the ladder. The fun part of a new format ladder is that you get to see a whole bunch of really fun ideas. As we saw Misty's Gyarados in a Misty's deck. We saw a Poison Okidogi EX deck, and then we saw good old faithful Charizard on the ladder as well. So a lot of really good matchups, a lot of little fun decks that you were seeing on the ladder right now. But that 240 HP for Wailord really came in clutch in several of the matches today. With the Hydro Pump, 4 energy for 210 sounds like it's a heavy investment, but when you're pairing it with the Baxcalibur and when you're pairing it with Huntail, where you really are not using your item resources to try to recover that energy, you can utilize your items to recover Pokemon and set up your board and really start to streamline those single prize attackers. That's where this deck really shines, and that Huntail was the missing piece that I needed during the Journey Together format. So, for everyone who's made it this far in the video, thank you very much. As always, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about it. We play a whole bunch of different off-meta rogue style decks. We definitely have fun with the cards in the card pool. And as always, have fun playing those sneaky decks.